This is ANN News Brief.
Suspected militants from Islamist group Boko Haram are reported to have killed at least 16 persons in northern Cameroon early on Sunday. The local official said 7 persons were also wounded in a grenade attack on a camp for displaced persons. The district mayor, Majwe Uboka, said the assailants threw a grenade into the camp in the village of Ngwechewe, located close to the Nigerian border while people were sleeping. The camp is home to nearly 800 people. Boka said women and children were among the dead and that the wounded were taken to a nearby hospital. Over the past month, there have been 20 incursions and attacks by suspected Islamic militants. Boko Haram violence has killed an estimated 30,000 people and displaced millions in neighboring countries, Cameroon, Niger, Nigeria, and Chad. South Africa has confirmed 511,000 cases of COVID-19, surpassing 500,000. The Health Ministry says more than 3 million persons have so far been tested for the virus in South Africa, which confirmed its first case 5 months ago. More than 8,300 deaths have been recorded since then. South Africa imposed a nationwide lockdown at the end of March to curb the spread of the virus, but it has now eased many restrictions to boost economic activity. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa said in a separate statement, the lockdown succeeded in delaying the spread of the virus by more than 2 months, preventing a sudden and uncontrollable increase in infections in late March. But as restrictions have eased, infections have spiked over the last 2 months, particularly in the worst-hit Western Cape, Gauteng, and Eastern Cape provinces. The World Health Organization's top emergencies expert, Michael Ryan, warned last week that South Africa's experience was a precursor for what was likely to happen across the African continent. South Africa is the 5th highest total in the world. The healthcare system, already stretched, is said to be overwhelmed. Meanwhile, final year students in secondary schools in South Africa have resumed classes on Monday after a 1-week break. President Cyril Ramaphosa closed all schools last week to limit the spread of coronavirus after resurgent cases among students, but said they will be gradually reopened over the 3-week period. Final year students in primary schools are scheduled to resume on August 10th, while other pupils will resume classes on August 24th. We'll be right back.
We are on the road every day, canvassing throughout Africa for news you really need. We follow the story everywhere, from every corner of Nigeria to the wide African expanse. We bring you what's making headlines. We connect you with news you can use. ANN, African News Network, in a truly African spirit.
Namibian President Hage Geingob says schools will be suspended for the second time in 4 months and limits on public gatherings will be tightened further to 100 from 250 amid surging coronavirus cases. Geingob says the decision to suspend schools this week for 28 days came after considering the risks associated with the spread of the virus. He says people will also not be allowed to consume alcohol at bars. Namibia has confirmed 2,294 cases and 11 deaths from COVID-19. Parents and teachers had threatened to demonstrate if schools remained open despite the rising number of new infections. Meanwhile, Namibia has relaxed rules for international tourists who will no longer be subjected to a mandatory 14-day quarantine on arrival, but will be required to present a negative PCR test conducted 72 hours before arrival. The nation's aims to stimulate tourism while safeguarding public health. Tourists will be required to remain at their initial destination in the country for 7 days. Then they can proceed with their holiday when another test is conducted during this period and came out negative. That is ANN News Brief at 11. For details on these and other breaking stories, visit our website, annafrica.news. Conversation continues on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ANN Africa TV. I'm Lucy Adeyemi.